Welcome to this EFT tapping on spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypass or spiritual bypassing was termed by a psychotherapist by the name of John Wellwood. He says about spiritual bypassing that spiritual bypass or spiritual bypassing is a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid feeling unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. And if you've fallen victim to a certain personality type that also likes to do its own praying within the spiritual realm, or if you've gone on a spiritual journey and encountered high-vibing people with very low-vibing practices, let's do an EFT tapping on exploring spiritual bypassing. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being, and let's begin to tap, repeating after me. Even though I've embarked upon my spiritual journey, I want to get a better understanding of myself. And that means all part of myself. To be holy, to be holistic, means to embody all parts of myself, the positive and the negative. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, even though I might encounter people who don't want to be truly holy, and who don't want to explore all parts of themselves, and only want to focus on the positive, and only want to focus on being a high-vibing spiritual being. And they may be devoid of the human experience of these simple human emotions. And I've bypassed straight past that and achieved enlightenment. And I still deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, even though these people, they've skipped the queue, they've bypassed all the emotional processing and gone straight for the good stuff. And there are reasons for this. And I'd like to explore these reasons so I can get a better understanding of myself and this world that we live in. And I still deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. I'm being holistic. I'm being whole. I'm being holy. I acknowledge I have unresolved stuff. I acknowledge I have emotions. And some of these emotions don't feel good. But in order to feel better, I need to explore these emotions. I need to go into these emotions so I can reconnect with parts of myself that perhaps in my development, in my childhood development, I was told to repress, and I was told to deny. These human emotions. And I'm embarking on a spiritual journey. Because when I start to embody these emotions, the positive and the negative, I start to get a better understanding of myself. And once I start to get a better understanding of myself, I start to get a better sense of direction of what spiritual path that I want to join on. Or even if I'm just at peace with myself. And I know in time that I'll experience emotions that I need to go back and reprocess. Be it a recovery journey or a spiritual journey. I can't deny my human emotions, and I can't bypass them. Nor can I skip to the end of the line and start to entitle myself. I'm a high-vibing spiritual person. I may even call myself a shaman. Or a guru. But if I was to walk into any particular temple and declare myself to be the priest of that temple, I may have bypassed the spiritual practice. And rather than embody, I've begun to entitle. I may have bypassed all these practices and all this emotional stuff where I can be truly present with a person and help them through their stuff and give guidance where need be and to know when to step away so that they can find their own direction in life. And there may be people that when you go to this entitled person and say, I've encountered this grief in my life, I've encountered this pain, and you seek their guidance, their spiritual wisdom, and they may say, you need to be more positive. Negativity is a low vibing vibration. It's either part of God's plan or the universe's plan for you. And this shifting, this denying the other person's experience, keeps that truly spiritual person from processing their own emotions and their own developmental stuff. Mercury's in retrograde. That's why I was so abusive towards you. I was simply a victim to a planet. And this victim turned into the abuser. In my defense, Your Honor, Mercury was in retrograde. Mercury was my fall guy. And this sense of denial, this blame shifting, somehow justifies my actions as a high vibing spiritual person to cause another person harm. There may be a selective attention bias, where I might know that a planet is coming into misalignment. So having that awareness premeditates my abusive behavior. I'm simply victim to a planetary alignment. And this victim mentality, this unresolved stuff, this unprocessed trauma, will keep perpetuating until not a planetary cycle is broken, but a pattern of behavior, a blame cycle, a denial of one's emotions, an insecurity, a defense mechanism. And if I am so enlightened, why do I become so enraged if someone questions my beliefs? All this unresolved stuff, all this spiritual bypassing. If I had a broken leg, I can bypass that pain and pretend that I can walk normally and push away anyone who offers help or gets a bit too close to that wound. Was claiming spirituality. And there's certain personality types who also like to prey upon people within the spiritual realm. The truly vulnerable, those escaping pain, those who love that entitlement, that inflated sense of self, who definitely love to be worshipped and definitely love to be seen. This spirituality, this spiritual narcissist who is there to alleviate all of your pain with their divine healing powers, until one questions these divine healing powers and you realize how unpositive they are and how manipulative they can be, because only they know the true word of God or whatever God that may be. They are the true vessels of light and love, or the spiritual narcissism. And from the person that is escaping pain, and if I'm escaping pain, the only way to escape pain is to start healing from it, to start processing that emotional trauma, to start tending to those wounds, to acknowledge all human emotions, to not shame or blame any one human emotion, so I can get a better awareness of myself. If I've got a better awareness of myself, it's kind of like waking up from the dark and into that light in mind, body and spirit. Taking a full breath in and out. So spiritual bypassing, it can be like, as John Wellwood was saying, a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid feelings, and using spiritual practices and spiritual ideas, like you can quote many things about the Buddha or anything like that, but unless you're going to go into something to actually get a better understanding of that, then it's only sort of tokenistic in a way. So going into emotions, tuning into yourself, exploring all things, you may get a better awareness of yourself and what actually you want for yourself and on your spiritual journey. You don't have to go on a spiritual journey. You can just be more at peace with yourself, and to be at peace with yourself means to be holistic, to join all those pieces together, not just focus on one singular piece and bypass the rest. So I'm down from Eflowtion Support Services, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.